There is no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you're watching this video means you are energetically aligned with me and this message. Your thoughts create your reality. But you already knew that. Yet, you still live a life that you dread.
Excuse me.
When you visualize your dream life, you unconsciously believe.
Somebody said, the freaking comments are hilarious. Somebody said, he banished her to the shadow realm. No, I can't. Like every time I watch it, I can't stop.
His other intense. I bet you they're contacts.
I don't know, but I just I
and the
picture the
snake
scream,
necklace,
her
yeah.
just going poof. She gets banished to the shadow realm. Thank you guys for joining us. Welcome to Coffee and Tequila. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd, as you're watching it, and this is the morning show, everybody. So.
Yes, our morning pop culture podcast show. I am Alastair Patton-Garcia.
I'm Zachary Patton-Garcia. This is an ever-evolving morning show, so we will see where this goes.
Yes. I don't know. Today's been a very stressful day, I would say for me. I'm not sure about for you, but for me it has definitely been.
It has been, but you know what? We made it to the end of the day, and we watched Luca tonight.
We did.
Loved that. So we're going to be having a little spoiler review at the end of this episode.
Yes, a little gush, a little conversation about Luca.
I loved it.
And I think it was a good way to kind of end our day.
It was a good movie night. Even if we weren't doing this right here, it would have been great to watch that and then probably go to bed or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely has a lot of good positive vibes, and
yeah,
it's good.
So today, not today, but sometime this week, NFL not quarterback.
It was Monday, by the way.
NFL,
because I looked it up after you sent it to me.
It's an NFL. I'm pretty sure he's a defensive end for the Raiders. Carl Nassib. He came out of the closet. It's this. It's I guess everybody is saying that it's the first. He's the first
active
football player in the NFL
yes.
Who is now out, and so. People treating it like a pretty big deal, and so Carl posted a video to, I guess, his Instagram, where he basically came out and said that he was going to be donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project, and so that's pretty cool. And then, obviously, you got the naysayers, you got the people cheering him on, you got the people congratulating him, and you got the people who's like, just another white gay. And then a lot of people comparing his coming out to Colton Underwood's coming out, Colton Underwood just came out not too long ago as well.
I figured that was going to be a comparison. Mm-hmm. Also because it's everybody's coming out experience is their own.
Yeah.
Come out however you feel comfortable coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what, especially when you're a celebrity, when you're somebody who has a platform, coming out I think has extra layers to it.
Yeah.
Where you're coming out, but how are you contributing to a community, mm-hmm. and how are you contributing to acceptance in in other communities? I saw some really funny TikToks today about people saying, oh my gosh, he came out as gay and he's in football. Oh my gosh, football never accepted us before. Now I have to know about sports. Some closet should be closed.
I saw one that said that said it was a picture of people at a football game, and they're all the gays going to the football game now that Carl has come out.
Yeah,
and then I've seen people obviously making football gay jokes.
Yes, and
I feel like those are super inappropriate.
Well, I mean, it's just I think it's great that he is that he came out, and especially he's doing it in this way in terms of he's framing it where he's struggled for the past 15 years, and he knows that he posted a statistic, where if young people know somebody who's gay that they look up to, they're less likely to think about suicide.
That's
and
why
stuff
he
like
was
that.
also donating to the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project does a lot of really great work towards suicide prevention. So I thought that was really great. A lot of the naysayers on here who were kind of scoffing at it. are criticizing, or a lot of people are like digging stuff up and or claiming he's a Republican. I can't find it. I did a quick search. I could probably look a little deeper, but there's a lot of people saying that he was a Trump supporter, and so I don't know that. Can't confirm that. But here's why it's kind of a big deal, because he's not the first NFL player to ever come out. Like, there's other NFL players to have come out. But he's the first like active one, and so this is why it's such a big deal, is because he's somebody actively in sports at the moment, and this is really important for. So a lot of people were like making a joke about this. Is going to tap the whole thing. There's a lot of people making the joke about, or not making a joke, but like, I don't know, getting a little bit salty about like him being this white gay who's coming out and has this platform and is getting all this attention and stuff like that, where, you know, there are black and brown people who don't get the same sort of attention. And I understand that, completely understand that. At the same time, I don't think we should be kind of putting his coming out down, because this is like lending itself to a wider acceptance. We need, the point is, we need a lot more people in sports, and you know, like UFC, mixed martial arts, tennis, everything from like running to NFL. Like, we need people coming out so that, you know, our visibility as gay men are, and you know, lesbians and everybody else are just there. Like, we are just visible because we're just there. And there's he even said in his video that hopefully, or he hopes that one day, you know, coming out won't even be a thing, that nobody will have to like make a video coming out and stuff like that. And that's yes, where I fall, is like, if we're so visible that that it's not even, you know, such a big deal when somebody says they're gay, then yeah, that's a good thing, and that's where we should be headed.
Well, I think we're also in an interesting time of our lives. Yeah. Where I was just trying to look for the tweet, but I saw a tweet earlier, and if you guys see it, let me know, because I couldn't find it again, about like how this is like having more gay people in these places that used to not be safe for queer people. You know, opens doors for queer people to be in these spaces openly. And that doesn't mean that queer people aren't in these spaces. It means that they can now be openly in these spaces. And I think that's so incredibly important.
It's very important.
Even just taking it back 10 years, like, queer people couldn't be in military spaces.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, it's not even that much of a big deal.
It's because queer people are already in these spaces. They're just not out, and they're not visible. And so when we have people like Carl who do come out and they make themselves visible, that's very important, because it could inspire other people to do the same. And then there'll be just enough people there that it's just everybody's just visible. Like, that's the ultimate goal, is that we're visible all the time, and it doesn't even have to be a big deal.
That it's normalized, that we are people, and yes, like, we're just like everybody else. And I find right now it's very interesting, because you see like I'd say like TikToks or pictures of straight guys really exploring their femininity and exploring like gender exploration, you know, like painting the nails, using makeup, you know, doing different things that they normally, you know, before now wouldn't have done. And we're very accepting of that, and very accepting of like them, you know, trying something new. And I think that it's nice to see queer people in these spaces that seem to be more straight dominant. And it's nice to see his teammates, as far as I've seen, and his coach really accepting and positive about his coming out.
Yeah, well, so, but even still, so because he's coming out and he's like an openly gay NFL player now, I don't know, it's inspiring a lot of jokes, a lot of like conversation, a lot of like even these headlines. So the New York Times posted their headline. They changed it since then. Carl Nassib was an NFL everyman. Then he came out as gay, and it's like,
what does that mean?
Sour taste. You know, so he basically
can every man not be gay?
He was an everyman. He was the All-American boy until he came out, and now he's like this is where we are as a society, is that being gay, being LGBTQ, being queer is just othered still. And like headlines like this prove that we're still othered. And so this is why it's so important for as much visibility as possible. So yes, I understand. He's a white cis man who has come out and he's getting all of this attention when, other gay folks, black and brown people or other gay folks who are who've already been out and who are not cis, they're not receiving the same sort of attention. I understand. I do understand.
But it's not his fault.
It doesn't make this not important though, because this is very important and we need more out folks in sports.
Well, it's the thing that it's not his fault that he's getting this much attention. Like, would people prefer that he stay in the closet because he's going to get attention?
Well, that's the thing, right? That is a big question. Is like, what? So, what is the alternative? Should he not have done this then? Should he not have said anything?
And he's using his platform for good.
I definitely believe that he knew that he was going to get this sort of attention. So, he knew about it.
He probably talked to a publicist.
There was probably a PR strategy in place for all of this. But
it's smart to do.
And a lot of people are comparing it to Colton Underwood's coming out. Colton Underwood came out, and then bam, he's got a Netflix
reality TV show,
a reality TV show, and he's got a gay god. Everybody fucking made these gay god jokes. I made a gay god joke. I was like, when I didn't get my gay god when I came out, who do I contact about this? Customer service? Or because he got Gus Kenworthy is I guess his gay god, and then last week I think Colton Underwood said, well, this is what pride is for me. This is my Amazon list of all of the things that make me prideful. And it's hold on, I actually have a list of some of this stuff. Okay, so Colton Underwood's items of pride from Amazon: Adidas fanny pack, Reebok Pride shoes, Bose Bluetooth headphones. That makes you very prideful. Fitbit. A red wine glass, white noise machine,
red wine glass.
Scented candle. There's a bunch of different stuff, and so he has a whole list of things. And it was published in an article on E. And I mean, I'm not here to say one or the other is better than that's just not where I want to be. I don't want to say that, but it is clear that I don't know. I feel
I do want to say I do have
proper messaging is important, especially when you're doing something like this and you have such a big platform.
Just so people don't call me a hypocrite, I do have an Amazon store page but it's mostly just books. And if I really liked stuff, I would put it on there. I still use Amazon. I'm not gonna say I don't, but I try not to use Amazon, especially with books. But I know that's the most accessible way for a lot of people.
Well, it is, and it's ridiculous.
To get things.
A lot of people act like they don't could use Amazon, and they do. So, everybody's a damn hypocrite. Everybody's a damn hypocrite. I think it's just a lot of people. Colton Underwood put a lot of a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths because it felt more like when he came out. It was business deal. He's got all this business stuff lined up, and there wasn't really a coming out part of that, or it felt very commercialized, right? It felt very, it felt like capital, I don't know, capitalism, whatever.
You know what? He should have hired the people from Flack.
Yeah,
because they would have done. Well, the thing is I don't blame him for doing it.
I don't either.
I don't blame people for taking advantage of business experiences, business opportunities.
Yep.
And but I do think that there is a certain finesse about how you go around doing it, and I think that the fact that everything came one after the other, somebody wasn't feeling the water as much as it should have been.
The optics of it were just not great.
Yes.
Because listen, I have built, and I'm the biggest hypocrite, I'll tell you first. I built an entire channel off of being gay. I've benefited off of this. I get sponsorships. I make money off of saying, hey, I'm gay. Look at me being gay. I made a coming out story, everything. So I'm not, I'm throwing stones in glass houses, basically, is what I'm doing right now. It's just, I see where people's kind of criticisms were, and the comparisons were here between these two gentlemen. And I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to talk about. I guess there is no real right or wrong way to do some of this, but then I think when you do have such a big platform, I do feel like it's important to kind of raise some sort of awareness and like he's doing with the Trevor Project. He put that in his coming out video, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know.
and I do think that that's important, but I also think that like again, like going back to it, coming out is everybody's own personal experience.
Yeah.
Like nobody should be coming out for you, and unfortunately for a lot of people like you, people have outed other people, but coming out is your own personal experience, and you do whatever you're comfortable with. And if you have a platform, you do have the ability to use that platform for good.
And nobody's forcing you to do it.
Yes, nobody should force you to do it. But
the opportunity is there.
And a lot of times,
you're going to take that opportunity.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people need to come out to themselves first before they like do this whole thing. And I'm not going to judge people whether they came out right or came out wrong, because I think that's kind of like a stupid idea
there's no
of saying, "Oh, you came out wrong."
I think at the end of the day, both of these men being out, it can't be beneficial. It is just more visibility out there. It's more. It's more for us. It's more on our side, our team. And at the end of the day, the final thing that should be said is good for you guys. I'm glad you guys don't have to be in the closet anymore. I'm glad you guys don't have to feel like you're hiding any part of yourself anymore.
Exactly.
So good for you, Carl, and good for you, Colton, and good for you, anybody else who's coming out. And maybe, you know what, I would love for one day for, other types of people, non-cis people, black and brown people, all of the other people, to also get this sort of recognition, attention, platform. It would be nice. Because we talk about representation, a lot of these people are not being seen in Carl Nassib and Colton Underwood,
Well, before we close out this part of our conversation, I think that is a important distinction. Whereas, there are some people who, I mean, everybody has their own coming out process, but there's some people who can hide, I would say, better because they're cis, and
100%,
and have to like really state, hey, you know what, I am gay, and I know I went through that. And there's some people who are just like who don't hide it, and they have to kind of come out to themselves. Meanwhile, they have people throwing slurs and everything else at them and telling them who they are while they're trying to figure out who they themselves are. And unfortunately,
let people tell you who they are.
Yes, let people tell you who they are. And unfortunately, when it comes to cis men coming out as gay, it comes as more of a shock than it does for non-cis men or women. But I don't know, you always have these people pushing sexuality on people who haven't came out, and maybe they won't come out. Maybe they're not gay. You always have the Shawn Mendes, for example, conversations, and people joke about it.
He has said he's not gay.
Yeah, he has said he's not gay.
Whatever the fuck you believe, that's not your place to believe nothing. If he says he's not gay, then he's not gay, and you accept what people tell you about themselves. That's where it is. It's you have no right to question what somebody tells you their identity is, and we also need to all be respecting each other's identity. So, I guess that's kind of where it is. If you want to start moving on to next topic.
I'm gonna start moving on to first, I'm going to move on to Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Is that the one you picked? He has a list, everybody. He has a list of fucking topics.
I'm only going to talk about two. Okay. And I first want to talk about Transformers: Rise of the Beast, which is coming out June 2022. And this is supposed to be a complete reboot, but it's also the 7th film for Transformers. And I was like, why is Transformers still doing this? Now that I didn't really like the first couple, and I will say I did not see Bumblebee, and I see that Bumblebee had got pretty good reviews.
These movies make fucking money. They make money. They're not dying out in popularity.
Yeah, the entire franchise has almost made about $5 billion, and that's only counting box office. So that doesn't count streaming. That doesn't count people purchasing it on a platform. That doesn't count DVD sales. It just counts box office. So that could be easily twice that much.
And listen, they're fun movies to see in the theater, right? This is like gonna be.
It's all Michael Bay.
It's going to be
except for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a spectacle, and so that's why you're going to watch it, right? You're going to watch the Fast and Furious movies because it's a spectacle. You're watching these Transformers movies because they're a spectacle, and like it's something to go into the movies and see on the big screen. So I remember when the first one came out. The first one I loved the first one. Shia LaBeouf and Megan.
Well, that actually wasn't the first one.
What do you mean?
The first one came out in the 1980s.
Okay, fuck off. Fuck off.
And people loved it. People really loved it. So a lot of people who really loved the first movie did not love this. But you and me, we grew up and this was our first Transformers movie. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. I loved Megan Fox. I loved Shia LaBeouf in this movie and in the franchise. And I know that Megan Fox had a really horrible time after the fact.
It was the third one she was replaced in, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it was all so sudden. Yeah. And
I was not very happy about that.
But with this new one, it's the filming has already begun. I'm looking at the Paramount Picture one. It's directed by Stephen Cable Jr. and stars Anthony Ramos, who right now is the star of what is that movie that just came out on HBO Max?
In the Heights.
In the Heights. Yeah. He's the star of In the Heights, and Dominic Fishback.
He was in.
It's supposed to take place in 1990s. Was he?
Yeah, he was Lady Gaga's friend.
And he was also in Hamilton. So he's he's a very talented person. Okay. And I'm hoping that this will be good. I think it'll be pretty exciting. So I'm not excited. Well, I wasn't excited about it. I want to say I wasn't excited about it until I looked it up. And now that I'm looking it up, I'm kind of excited about it, and I'm just waiting for a trailer to drop.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I would be more excited when I get into the theater to go to watch it.
I think I'd be more excited if it was Megan Fox.
I'm not going to care as much and watch her show up in the trailer. Just like, back, bitches.
I would love if that was like a secret thing going on, and it's actually like she's the lead star.
She's a variant.
A variant. Stop. The next bit of like big news that was
the one you picked,
yesterday.
Really, out of all of it,
I don't think
I thought you were going to pick Avril Lavigne's TikTok debut.
Okay, so I definitely want to talk about it, but you didn't seem excited when I talk about Avril Lavigne's TikTok debut with oh my gosh, with Tony Hawk. He was a girl, she was a boy.
Nostalgia boners all around.
It was like it was an amazing TikTok debut, and she looked exactly like she did before. It was amazing. Go check it out if you haven't. But I did want to talk about this.
Okay.
Today, which is now yesterday for you guys, Rachel Zegler has been announced by Disney that she's going to be playing Snow White in the live
Who's Rachel?
adaptation.
What is she in, and what is who?
Well, actually, I don't know.
Why did you pick?
Because no.
You picked a topic
because
you don't know the girl.
I guarantee that Rachel Zegler is going to be big.
Is she the one who sang "Shallow" at her school or something?
I'm not sure if she's the one who sang "Shallow" at her school.
Have been researched,
but she is in West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
She might be the one who sang "Shallow" in her school. Then
yes,
I think so. She was a high schooler, and she like went viral for singing "Shallow" in her like theater, her school's theater or something.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. Now I have to. Can you look that up while
I'm not going to. I'm just going to I'm going to make a call and said that was her.
Okay.
Okay.
But she is also playing an unknown character in the new Shazam movie coming out in 2023.
Although Zachary Levi is a sexy man.
We really liked Shazam, so I don't know why you're saying that.
No, I don't like Shazam, actually. Shazam was a horrible movie.
We liked it.
In Zachary Levi, though, was in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and...
Oh, yeah, he's great in that, isn't he?
She should have been with him.
That's who I would have chosen.
Yeah.
But Rachel Zegler, anyways. Rachel Zegler is pegged to play... Snow White in the new feature film.
Another adaptation?
Why are you shocked?
I'm not. They're gonna do. I'm just waiting for the reboots of all these adaptations. So when's the next Cinderella coming out? Actually, very soon it will star Camila Cabello. Did you know that they're making another Cinderella?
No.
Okay.
And
They've already started remaking the remakes. Alastair.
Disney doesn't own the rights to Cinderella.
I know it's not
a
Disney one.
It's
not
a public,
Disney one.
Yes, we're talking about
But they're
Disney.
still okay.
Everybody makes Cinderella films every 2 years. But
So Snow White and her 7 dwarves.
For Snow White, so like the big controversy, not that it should be a controversy, is that she is a Latina. And Snow White is obviously white.
Is that becoming a controversy though? I feel like it's not a controversy.
I think everybody is thinking it's going to be a controversy, but I haven't seen it be a controversy.
If it's being criticized, you will find out on Facebook. So we should have researched it on Facebook and figured out what people were saying, because all the racists and homophobes and bigots are over on Facebook.
I looked on Twitter and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, wait for the racists to come out," and I was waiting for the racists to come out.
When Halle Bailey was announced as the Little Mermaid, as Ariel, racist Facebook went freaking wild. It was so sickening to see, and I do not believe that Rachel Zegler is going to get that amount of hate.
Well,
we will be buying like 5 tickets to the Little Mermaid. By the way, I will make sure to go and support that fucking movie.
Well, I definitely think Disney, especially with its animated, not animated, with its live action, they're making a concerted effort to cast more diversely. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes people are going to definitely be upset about it because they view a character in a certain way and they see it in another way. What I am concerned about is the actresses, because guess what? When you get an amazing role, you're not going to turn it down. You get an amazing role, and then suddenly you get like a huge amount of racist hate mail. Yeah. That's not your fault. You didn't cast yourself. You definitely wanted to play the character.
Hate mail is like online social. What are you? Bullying. What year are you in? 2002? They're getting
hate email
to actress bullying.
Yes.
Right on the Twitter and everything. I need to go on. I should have gone on Twitter and actually looked at some of the responses to that. I don't feel like I didn't see any. I was on Twitter all day today and I didn't see anybody criticizing it. So, I mean, I'll have to go and see. But I did see that Olivia Rodrigo had been in talks to play Snow White instead. But then, she got it.
Well, I'm curious about how. I'm always just gonna judge a film based on how really good it is.
Yeah.
And whether I like it or not.
Did you ever like Snow White? I could never stand Snow White. I hated Snow White, and her voice, just ground my gears.
I was honestly always on the witch's side, her stepmother's side.
Yeah.
I was like, Snow White, and then she takes advantage of these 7 men. I'm just kidding.
She really does, though. I mean, she comes into their house and
well, she sings at the birds.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about this, and I'm curious about how they're going to mess with because Snow White is very literal. It's she's called Snow White because she is very, very, very white, and I wonder whether the makeup's going to come into play or how they're going to bring that into the story. I want to say.
I don't know. You know who would have been a good Snow White, and who I think of as Snow White every time I see her, is Mina Lee. I don't
know who that is.
Our favorite fashionista on YouTube who makes all the fashion videos. She looks exactly like the cartoon character.
The Snow White.
Her hair's the exact same because her hair's
I could have seen an Asian character play the role.
It's not even that she's Asian. It's just that it's kind of styled the same. She wears the red lip a lot, and her hair's usually the same. I don't know. She ain't an actress though, I guess. We're going with Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler. Well, I just want to bring it up because it was blowing up on Twitter. And so I talked about my 2 things that I wanted to talk about.
Yo, he had a list. You want to just real quick? We'll do it. Avril Lavigne makes a TikTok debut. You cut out some stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What was
you told me to cut out stuff.
I know. What was the other stuff you had on there?
We were going to talk about the Suicide Squad trailer. Then I watched it, and there wasn't really much to talk about.
It's going to be a good movie to go watch, but people have already talked about that. Okay, well, then I guess we can move on to Luca. We watched Luca tonight, and as predicted,
I loved
Alastair
it.
bawled his eyes out.
I did not cry.
You did. I could look over at him. He's like,
Well, I think that this is.
that's actually one of my favorite things about you, is that your heart will open to these movies. And while I'm trying to hold tears back, you just let them flow.
But will it open in real life? Not very much. Mm-hmm. I cry more for fictional characters than real life people.
I know you do. This was such a good movie, y'all.
It was.
Okay, so spoiler talk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Luca was such a good movie, and I know there's always this. You know what? I'm tired of. I don't even know if this is the right use of the word gaslighting, but I am tired of seeing a gay allegory, a gay metaphor, in these movies, recognizing it, talking about it, and then being like told, you're just projecting. You're just like putting this on characters, and there was never any meaning there. And one of my examples is I did a video about This Means War with Tom Hardy and Chris Pine. By the way, I have come to the conclusion that they are totally gay. They were totally into each other. And there was a deleted scene of them ending up together at the end. And so I was like, well, I made a whole video. I was like, well, this is my case. Maybe they're gay. And everybody was in the comments like, you're just projecting. They weren't gay. There was nothing in the script like that. And you know what? There freaking was. I'm on that hill. I'm going to die on there.
Well, I remember they had an alternate scene at the end.
They ended up together.
Yes.
The studio didn't have the balls to go through with that. So one of them took Reese Witherspoon, but Reese Witherspoon was the fag hag.
Which I'm not sure if that's an appropriate term anymore. I'm not sure.
Are we not allowed to say fag hag anymore?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Let us know.
I'm always just hesitant about everything. But
Luca though, Luca is a definite gay allegory.
Yeah, Luca was a kind of like a queer thing. So like,
kind of.
Well, I do want to share this one tweet from @AaronBadTweets. I know Luca isn't an explicitly gay movie, I know that, but a movie about two adolescent boys growing up with a secret about their identity in a conservative town that persecutes people for that secret. Pixar knows what they did there. Yeah. And I think so.
So I think they did. I think the filmmakers knew it, but they are Pixar's under Disney, right? So Disney was never going to let them do that. Never going to let them do that. So they went as far as they probably could.
Substitute monsters
while staying in Disney's guidelines. But like Adam Sass, I also have a tweet to read. Adam Sass on Twitter, the Adam Sass. He's the author of Surrender Your Sons, which is a fantastic book, by the way. There's some parallels in this movie from Surrender Your Sons.
Yeah, I saw that.
So his tweet said, being gay means watching one painfully obvious gay allegory after another and then being told by the creative team they don't know what you're talking about, but it's cute / misguided / oppressive / toxic that you chose to see it that way. And then he says, me teaching gay kids. Lesson 1, allegory. Learn it, love it. It's all you've got. But always remember, most allegory movies would be 100% flops without you bringing your little gay baggage to it. It's your power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Luca would have been all in the news and as talked about had it not, even with the premiere trailer, looked like a kid's version of... I mean, I don't want to say "Call Me by Your Name." It's like the same setting. I mean, it's the same vibe.
It is. It's honestly, and I know because I looked it up.
The trailer.
Because even while we were watching it, we were like, "This kind of looks like Call Me by Your Name."
Yeah.
But with them being age appropriate
and different plot,
and them being like sea monsters.
No.
But
no. That first trailer was very queer centric, and it. But then, like, you're told no. Why are you singing it like that? Why does everything have to be gay? Anthony Mackie.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, the thing is, like...
Because sometimes shit be that way. Sometimes that is how it is.
And I'm not dismissing, like, very close platonic male friendships.
Okay.
I'm not dismissing that at all. And that's fine if you see that in here. I think that's completely fine.
Yeah.
If you recognize this and you identify this with, like, a platonic male friendship or female friendship that you had yourself. But... the way I think a lot of queer people see it is as a queer story, like the three queer best friends, there, and then you have like this kind of like
So queer.
exploration
Let's
that's
go
going
into.
into it.
I want to talk about the word queer for a second. Queer is a word that I'm constantly like hearing and learning, and it's constantly evolving in like the public lexicon, I guess. But my basic understanding of queer is otherness. You know, an othered sort of person, and that is definitely these three main characters here:
Yes.
Luca, Alberto, and girl. Number one.
Don't say that.
What is her name? I'm sorry, we were very in love with Luca and Alberto.
I can't believe you didn't know who Julia was.
Little Jason Tremblay, though. He was.
Oh, he
Luke.
was!
Yeah. I recognized his voice instantly. So like we have Luca who wants to go to the surface, and he sees Alberto going to the surface, and Alberto's kind of like, yeah, come to the surface. But Luca's parents doesn't want him to go to the surface. They're like, it's too dangerous. You can't go up there. That's like everybody's wanting to hunt sea monsters, and like there's basically it's like a witch hunt but with sea monsters, and you can't do it. And so he starts sneaking up there with Alberto, and they're like spending time together in this little Italian,
little island
tower,
that he
like an
has.
abandoned like Italian tower too. And
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
just for a second, I imagine them 10, 15 years in the future. They fix up the little tower.
Yes.
They make it a cute home for themselves.
well, I see them together in the future. I don't see them together so much right now. I
Yes.
think this was the beginning of like I would love to see sequels because I would love to see their relationship. just
Oh, that would be
evolve.
amazing.
Because I do see them together, but right now it's like two queer boys who just form this really great friendship and bond because they're connected by the same sort of things, and they develop a love for each other and they love each other, and they have a really close friendship, a close bond, and they meet this other queer girl who's like othered by her her town, and like she's kind of a loner, and she even calls herself an underdog, and like they kind of all
Yeah.
form a little bond.
Yeah,
And,
everybody calls her a weirdo in her town.
yeah, and so Luca's parents find out that he's been going to the surface, and so they are not happy about it, and they try to have his
Him
uncle,
sent away to
his
his uncle from the deep.
take him away into the deep blue sea. And it's just like he's like, I don't want to go, and so he escapes and he runs to the surface, and
And they go to the town, and the entire time,
yeah.
they want a Vespa. Because for them, Vespa...
It's so just cute.
Like, yeah.
Luca and Alberto want they find
Well,
something they want together.
And it's really funny because at first they only have a picture of a Vespa, so
Yeah.
like they're creating what a Vespa is to them.
They don't know what a Vespa even does really.
And really, what it comes down to, a Vespa for them is an escape from the reality that they're in. You
And
know,
it's just-
for Alberto, it's a reality in which
Yeah.
his father completely left him and abandoned him, and for Luca, it's a reality in which his parents, accepted him and accepted
Yeah.
that he wanted to be something different than what he was. And for Julia, the Vespa all turns into this competition for the cup, and the cup
And
will
she
give
doesn't
enough
really care
money.
about the Vespa. She more cares about winning a race that she's been trying to win.
Yes.
For years now, and she keeps just getting beat out, and so she would like to accomplish something. This is a goal she wants to accomplish, and they really want a Vespa. This is like you said, this is their getaway. This is their escape in their minds, and it's just so. I don't know. It's like it's kind of It's just a queer movie, guys. It is just a queer movie.
It was
and there's,
great
like,
because
no
like
escaping that sort of allegory here.
I would say for like 95% of the dialogue, if you exchanged the word monster for gay,
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits. Like this whole town is like so afraid of sea monsters that they're hunting them down to kill them, and the Luca and Alberto can't even be themselves, and then there's like this little subplot where Luca starts becoming closer friends with Julia, and Alberto gets jealous, and like he's getting jealous that his friend is
Yeah.
he's kind of becoming the third one out, but also he really likes Luca, and Luca is they have already formed this bond, and so
they have some like really, really, really good moments.
Yeah.
And I don't know, during it, like you see, especially like one of the most shocking moments is when Luca turns around completely betrays Alberto
And
calls him a monster.
Audible gasp. Okay, so they're both
It was
in
almost
high-
like they're caught.
Well, they're
and
both,
then he blamed it on the other guy.
So they're both. Well, no, there's tons of moments like this, by the way. So like it's like they're always getting almost caught together. They're always running around, almost getting caught together. There's this one moment where Alberto's like, you know what? I'm coming out. Basically, without actually saying this, I'm coming out. And him and Julia and Luca are by the water, and he goes into the water, and Julia's like taken aback because he turns into the sea monster, and Luke, is there another word that they've ever used other than sea monster, or is that just what they're mermaids?
They used sea monster.
Okay, well, and so instead of Luca, defending his friend and joining his friend, he is scared. Understandably, these are kids. So let's kind of put ourselves into kids' shoes without projecting any hate onto them. He's scared, and so he turns on his friend and he says, "You're a monster!" And him and Julia kind of take off, and Alberto has to go back into the sea.
Well, and then Julia confronts him about that.
Betrayed by his friend. Yeah, and so Julia does comfort.
Yeah, and then Julia confronts him about that, and then we also see that Alberto and Luca are in very different parts of their life, where they both really wanted this escapism, especially for the summer. But one of the big emotional moments is when they're running the race.
Yeah,
and Luca decides to run the race and win the Vespa in order to prove, to get forgiveness from Alberto. And he gets stuck in the rain.
It's almost like he's proving his love, proving his loyalty, proving his friendship. Yes. And that's what it felt like to me.
It was definitely proving his loyalty.
Yeah.
And then Alberto comes up with the umbrella, and then the umbrella to cover Luca. But the umbrella falls off of him, and he's exposed as a monster.
And he turns into the sea monster, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" And so they're about to hunt him. And so Luca, and up until this point, was trying to stay closeted. But this is what it is. Even if you want to just take it literally as sea monsters, he's still being closeted as a sea monster. So he takes off into the rain to go and grab his friend's hand, throws him on the back of the bike, and they take off towards the water. Exposes himself. He comes out in order to save his friend, and it's a very heartwarming moment.
One big moment before the end moment that I thought about was the fact that his parents were talking about how he won't be accepted in the outside world, but he does a good job about finding people who will accept him.
And he does. Oh, and that was a perfect way to say it too, and they say it exactly like that. Is like, there are people who are very hateful in this world. There, people who are never going to accept Luca and Alberto being on the surface and knowing they're sea monsters. But Luca's really good at finding those people who will accept him, and that is called chosen family. Yes. That's chosen family.
That is chosen family.
To it. And Julia is one of those people. So so let's take it literally. These are sea monsters, right? When Julia first sees him turn into a sea monster, I can completely understand why she's kind of freaked out, and she kind of steps back, and she's like, "What the?" But then when Luca comes, gets wet later and accidentally exposes himself to her, she accepts him. She does wet. Yeah.
So it's almost like she's confronting him about it.
She accepts him, and she is worried for him. She's like, you
can't do this.
My father is hunting sea monsters. You don't want to do this.
My father's a homophobe.
Meanwhile, but no, he doesn't even turn out to be a sea monster hater.
Yes,
he sees
he's a
these
defender.
Boys that his daughter's been spending time with, and he's taking care of almost like his own children at the time. Like he's been their guardian for this time, and he accepts them, and he puts his harpoon down, and he's there to accept them, and it's just such a great message that you can find. It doesn't matter if you're in your own life, you can't if you're in your own family, you're having a hard time finding people who accept you. You can find a chosen family. There are people out there who will accept you, and who you can find a family in. You've got a friend in me type of people.
You got a friend in me. But so towards the end of this, throughout the movie, we see that Luca really aspires to go to school and experience that, and his parents and Alberto make that impossible for him.
Alberto sells the Vespa.
Alberto sells a Vespa to get him over there,
Yeah.
and his parents like work out a deal to get him to stay with his friend Julia, and it's such an emotional moment.
It is a crazy emotional moment because even though like we want them to stay together and be friends and then like eventually turn into like, you know, when they're older, turn into boyfriends and husbands, a couple. We also have to understand that both of these boys are still trying to find themselves. This is a coming of age story, so they're both individually finding themselves, and one of Luca's ways to find himself is to be part of this one. Part of your world. This is what he wants, and so staying just with, like, if he would have just chosen to stay with Alberto, it wouldn't have made any sense because he also has to discover himself,
who he is before he decides what he wants. And for Alberto's character, what I really liked, made me tear up a little bit,
you teared up, buddy,
was that Alberto stayed because Julia's father,
he found a father figure,
was his father figure, and he finally found like what he was looking for that entire time. Anyways, it was good.
I
love
it. I love
and then,
you. Your heart is so sweet.
And then Luca got on the train, and they were holding hands. I think he was running after the train.
We need a sequel. We need something after this because I need to see them meet again. You know.
Yeah.
But it was just a great movie, and I really, you know what? There's no way to say that this wasn't thought of and conceptualized without the gay experience in there and the queer experience in there. And so this is a queer movie. This is a queer movie, and anybody who says otherwise, it's just, you know.
Which I mean, like, I'm not saying that people can't think of them as friends, and this is an amazing friendship.
You think of it however you want. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's stopping you. But also, don't criticize us for assigning a queerness to it and seeing that and seeing a sort of representation in there.
We really like this movie,
Yeah.
and we're just a couple of sea monsters here, so
We're just a couple of sea monsters. You know what? From now on, we're excited sea monsters is where we are.
excited sea monsters.
Maybe one day a movie will just say we're gay. How about that?
Instead of excited sea monsters.
I don't know. But yeah, that was the morning show for today. We highly recommend you go and check out Luca. We are going to get back on Love Victor. We are going to get back on it.
So I actually have a list of ones I want to get to. We might not. I want to watch Physical with Rose Byrne, and I've heard really good things about her performance.
Okay.
I put Love Victor, and then Mayor of Easttown, just because everybody.
I do want to watch Mayor of Easttown.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
have an amazing Wednesday.
Yeah, have an amazing Wednesday, and hope the rest of your day is great, and we will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye. Adios.
Goodbye.
Just a couple of sea monsters.
Couple of sea monsters.